Hi everyone, it's Veronica, and I am here with part 4 of my Stamp and Scrapbook Expo experience. This is the final part, and what I'll be talking about today is the crop. At the crop, you can bring anything you'd like to work on. There was a lady there with her sewing machine. She was making quilting squares. There were people doing layouts, just whatever you choose. Shantae worked on albums. Faye did an album and a card kit. Lena did a baby album. Brenda worked on some cards. She's not a card maker, but when I tell you this card was just so gorgeous that she created. Joyce worked on her traveler's notebook. So it's just whatever you choose to work on at that time. Now, of course, you're back and forth going to the vendors, you're leaving to go have dinner or lunch or whatever, depending on how long you've been in there. So actual seat time, I'm not sure how much I had, but the room opens at 9 and you go until midnight on Friday night. And then Saturday night, it was from 9 until 11. I think that's right. Okay, so what I chose to work on was a scrapbook, a 12 by 12 scrapbook. Last year, I did my daughter's wedding scrapbook. This year, it was another scrapbook for her. She is in the illustrious Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated sorority, and they just celebrated their 10th anniversary in February. Their initiation was Valentine's Day in 2009, and her dear mother had not gotten around to doing a scrapbook for her, and it was a surprise. She didn't even know I was doing it. So, and as soon as I get this video done and see her, then the book is hers. So I just wanted to share with you what I did. Now, there are 2 pages toward the middle of the book that are empty, and that's because I'm not at liberty to share those with you. So I'm only sharing pretty generic things, I think. Okay, so let's get into the scrapbook, and I'm going to fold this cover back because it is a 12 by 12, which is pretty good size, but this is the first page, and these are some patches that I had purchased from a convention years ago, and I was going to have them placed on a jacket. I never did. So I just thought about the patches. I said, let me pull these out and use them. But this is how the first page looks. And this page, this part right here comes from the Cricut. I used Elegant Edges cartridge, and I also used Phrases cartridge. So this is Elegant Edges, but these are the patches, and you will see hearts throughout the book because their line name is Hearts of Fire Rated Red. So that's why I started out with hearts, and the camera may shake a little bit because this is a big book. And the violet is our official flower. Okay, so that's that page. So let me move this over. And here, of course, when you show interest and want to join, you have to do an interest letter. These corners I cut from a Just Right die. These papers pretty much came from Hobby Lobby. All right, the next page, you had to get letters of recommendation. So that's what that is, and I thought she'd like to review those every now and again. Here, Rush is just the interest meeting that you show up to get information about going through membership intake. So this was the front of the program, and this was inside. The next one, this is her acceptance letter and when she was going to have her interview. All right, and then this one, you have to, once you've been accepted and go through your interview and accepted, then there's an induction program that you have to go through. So that was the cover for that. And this was the night of the induction once we got back home. What is here is the pyramid pen that all the inductees were pinned with, and of course I pinned her. So I had some embellishments that I used. This is for her journaling. I do have some journaling spots on some pages. Okay, and then here, and I'm really sorry about the shaking. Just some photos of some of the things that we had at the interest meeting. All right, and then this was an activity that was held while they were going through. These are all actual deltas here, and I put roll call on here because we were doing this thing where your year was called out, and of course you do your cheer and you're this, that, and the other. It was cool. It was cool. A lot of music playing, and we just dancing and having a good time. Okay. And here is just some other, this was the actual initiation and crossing ceremony program. And that was her card, but I just covered that up. And the sands. Some of you know what that means. All right, and then this, one of our sorors is an engineer, and she created this logo for them. And these are all of the young ladies who were on her line, and it was 166 of them. And as I said, the name is Hearts of Fire Rated Red, and all of these are their line names. So I thought that was pretty cool. And this was the celebration after the initiation. And this was cut from the Phrases cartridge. I used ribbon that I had gotten at a convention. This is the table. All the gifts and things are lined up. It's just amazing to see. And of course, they had to do it, divide the tables up by numbers so they could easily find where their gift was. And this is a journaling spot I put here. And this is the basket I had done for her with the gifts that I had gotten for her. And this was what it was looking like. We had to wear black to the ceremony. Oh, and a friend of mine made these candy jars for us. And Jasmine's number is 63. But she used flower pots. So I thought that was pretty cool. And this was the president at the time. This is after, you see how she's just cheesing away. And this was the, what we call when I crossed, the Dean of Pledgees. All right, and here's some other photos. And this says me and my sisters. That was from the Phrases cartridge. And hearts, hearts everywhere. And in case you hadn't figured it out yet, our colors, our actual colors are crimson and cream, but we do use red and white. So here I'm just showing some of the gifts when she got home and we opened up everything. These are some of the things that she had gotten from me and other people. And she is a physical therapist, and I thought that that was so cool that somebody found that. I love it. And the next page, more gifts. This elephant die was Gina Marie die. I shared in a haul video. Here's other things, and I wanted her just to give her reaction here. And she's just sitting on the floor with all of this goodness. And I just love this little bling here. I think it's Recollections. And I think I must have skipped the pages, evidently, that I couldn't show. Let's see. Yeah, I did. Way back. Okay. And then here I got her a jacket. She was being her in her silliness. And this is Phrases cartridge, You Go Girl. And I cut it out in glitter paper. And again from the Phrases cartridge, Picture Perfect. And these are her buddies right here who came to celebrate with her. And This final page, one of the, well, actually the bookkeeper at the school where I worked had that made for, that plate done for a lot of the ones that she knew online. So I was just tickled that she had done one for Jasmine. She didn't even tell me she was getting it done, so that was pretty cool. This, with all these little hearts, this came from Hobby Lobby. And then I cut out from the phrases cartridge, Happy Day, just added some flowers. And that is the gist of the album. Now I did add 2 more of these sleeves in here because there are some other things I wanted to add in. Rather than trying to add a pocket on the book itself, I'm just going to put them down in these sleeves, some other mementos. All right, so that is what I worked on at the crop. And in order to get this completed, because like I said, I don't know how much seat time I actually do because I'm running back and forth. But I do a lot of prepping before. I always know what I'm going to work on before I get there, and I do a lot of prepping. So I didn't want to take die cutting machines, and they have a creation station there where you can take your stuff and cut and do whatever you need to do. I didn't want to do all that. So I actually figure out how I want my layouts to look, and I do all my cutting and stuff at home. Even this page I did at home because we were at a table. We didn't elect to have power at our table, so I used hot glue on this to make sure it stayed down. So I glued this page down before I even left to go to the expo. So again, I do a lot of prepping, a lot of cutting, and I actually, when I lay the pages out, I take pictures with my phone, and that way when I'm sitting at the table, I just refer back to the picture to see how I wanted the layout to look. Now, for some reason, I don't know what I pressed on my phone this year, but I ended up deleting all of those photos. And I do it in the notes section, so I don't know what I did. So on a couple of them, I had to wing it, but I think I came out pretty close to the way I wanted it to look. But this is the scrapbook that I worked on. It is finished. I just have to put those other 2 pages in there, and it's a done deal. Thank you all so much for following along, sharing in my experience. I had a grand time at Stamp and Scrapbook Expo this year. I think they did a fantastic job putting the event on. We just laugh, we talk, we eat, we shop, we laugh, we talk, we eat, we shop. It was fabulous. And again, if you get an opportunity to do an expo, don't let it pass you by because you will absolutely love it. All right, I will put a link to the other videos that I did if you have missed out on those. Thank you all for joining me. Happy crafting, everyone.